Welcome to the Footy Show Extra Time, looking back at Everton's defeat against Manchester City. Ped, THT. Lots to be spoke about from this game, and nothing to do with necessarily what happened on the pitch. Before we come into the game, everyone was talking about, would Everton go out there, give 100% to stop Liverpool from winning, or giving Liverpool a chance to win the league, stopping Manchester City obviously picking up 3 points. Now, as far as I'm concerned, everyone went out there, gave 100%. I think the fans were a credit as well. Okay, it wasn't an absolute sort of barnstorming atmosphere, but I don't think it ever was going to be once Manchester United being beaten, once Spurs beaten, and Everton were basically assured that 5th place. You know, I'd put it down to be a bit of a testimonial atmosphere. No one really had to go mad, and it was very much like an end of season game where it's not about the game, it's almost what happens after the game, giving, clapping the fans as they do a lap of appreciation, a lap of honour. It depends how good the season is, seeing all the kids play, next generation. And then most of the fans drifting off to the pub and sort of celebrating the end of the season and the last chance they'll see some people for a couple of months.
Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult one, but people, for me, were reading too much into it because it was never about us as fans. We might have wanted Everton to win, I don't think anybody wanted Everton to lose. I think
some people might have.
Possibly, but I think
let's be honest.
No, I think what you kind of do is you look and think, I want us to win. If we lose, it's not the worst thing in the world for a change. The cap doesn't get kicked and all that.
Yeah.
I think the players were always going to put in a performance because the manager. Could you ever envisage a situation where Roberto's in the dressing room and he turns around and goes, "Doesn't matter if we lose today." It's just not happening, is it? And the players went out and showed the fact that he wanted them to win. Okay, you drop your level a little bit because you think we've got it, we're in Europe. If we win, so what kind of thing. Still, when that ball comes to you, Ross Barkley, what a hit.
Yeah.
What a goal. And he wasn't thinking at that come, Liverpool's going to win the league. If I stood it, he's just put it in the top corner, ran off, given it. I nearly got up and done the Ross Barkley jump, but I don't want my hamstrings already. So, a great start. No one kind of sat there and went, can't believe that's gone in. Everyone was bouncing around. So, the integrity for me was well up.
Yeah, and okay, Manchester City scored. And when Manchester City scored, there was a bit of a rumbling in the Garden seat. I must admit, I'm in there every week. There was a bit of a rumbling. A couple of kids jumped up and went. Now I don't know whether they were Man City fans, Liverpool, Everton fans celebrating the fact that that goal went in. Who knows? You know what I mean? But a few people got really angry. I thought it was a bit stupid. Is that people getting really, really angry about it. I don't see the point of that because it wasn't really. What was the importance of getting really angry apart from looking bad maybe from the outside? But you're talking about 1 or 2, aren't you? You're not talking about the whole ground. I think a lot of people were disappointed. I know when Man City scored the second goal, I was really, really disappointed in the way he defended it. That really annoyed me. I really was annoyed by the goalkeeping and the lack of defending. And even though there wasn't that much on the game, you've always got that. Everton got beat. That's 3 defeats in 4 games, and you're thinking you want to finish the season stronger. And from that side of things, that's what annoyed me.
It was a poor goal. I think the first goal, maybe to do with the formation, it might have just been switched off. Aguero puts it in at the near post. That annoyed me, the fact that Tim Howard is. If you watch him, he's static in his position. He's not covering the near post. He's not diving across to maybe parry a shot. He just sits down, the ball goes past him. The second goal was a tackle's gone in, and it was too easy for them to pick the ball up and think it back over. And when Becko's headed it, has he gone one way to try and get back to the other? I'm not so sure, but he hasn't. It seemed to go in slow for me, and I was disappointed.
And I'd watched West Ham that day in Spurs, and Laurie's performance was just unreal. It's one of the best goalkeeping displays I've ever seen, and he had everything. We spoke about this before on the Footy Show, and other things. People have criticised us for criticising Tim Howard, but I think on Saturday he showed all his weaknesses again, and it's really annoying. But we're not going to have a go too much. But I think we were proved right in what we said. Another thing what we got right last week was we was talking about having 3 at the back and maybe having John Stones moving into midfield or whatever. And lo and behold, Roberto Martinez put 3 centre backs out. Obviously Alcaraz, Jagielka, and John Stones, and they looked okay. okay. I mean, at times there was a little bit of indecision. Maybe the first goal mightn't have happened if you've got a traditional left back in there. But I thought he did well. And then when John Stones went to right back, dear me, going forward, I mean, he was playing right wing, he was putting crosses in, he was running through the middle of the park. What just an outstanding footballer.
Kid's got everything, hasn't he? He's absolutely fantastic, and a lot of calls for him to be on the plane to Brazil. I'm quite happy for him to have his flip-flops on in the summer, not a nice holiday, but he's a tremendous prospect. He's been absolutely marvellous. The media's been at it again today, trying to put these stories out that his age between agents and everything. He'll be unsettled. Signed a 4.5-year deal last year. He's going absolutely nowhere. I think the experiment for me, I think the three at the back worked quite well. I think if we would have had a natural holding play, if Gareth Barry would have been able to play, I think it probably would have worked even better, to be honest. Not that Leon
But would you think there's supposed to be a holding midfield in there? You've got three. Are you asking too much defensively then?
No, I don't think so, because I think what you do is you would have had your third centre-half, so he would have been kind of a sweeper. You would have screened him in front with Gareth Barry, you would have done the left and right bit. Obviously Stones and Jagielka to split, and then you've got Baines and Coleman should be right on. So you're almost having a 4, the insurance of 4 with 6 going forward. So I think there's real scope there for it to work. I looked at it and thought, with the Europa League in mind, I thought, you know what, this is a really good formation. I think the problem what we may have is, although this tank could come in for our players, we need that holding midfielder. Osman, don't know, I thought Leon Osman had a good game Saturday. I've got to be honest, thought James McCarthy never has a bad game. Was good again. I just thought for them to look at it again in the final third, I didn't think we were decisive enough. Although Leighton Baines getting forward a lot more and put a wonderful cross in, didn't he, for the second goal. That encouraged me.
Do you think that this system might work also better if Oviedo plays the left wing back role? Because I know we've seen Baines in the last few years, and probably everyone's gone, he's the most perfect wing back you can have. But I actually think Oviedo's better suited to that position because of his pace. I think his pace-wise, he can get up and down the pitch a lot better. And I think Baines can play in that centre midfield. And I think he showed a bit of that as well on Sunday. There was a couple of times when he went into that midfield, and people have questioned his size, whether he could do that. And I tell you what, he was going in there and winning 50-50s and coming out the other side with the ball against like Torre, and he was really getting in there. But also his passing ability, he's got quick feet as well, which is one of the parts of his game which is not mentioned too much.
I think he's excuse me. I think he's perfect for being able to flip between the two. Actually, he's that good a footballer, like he's good touch, great awareness, lovely left foot on him. And I think he can go in there. He's good in a tackle. Probably a weak side of his game. He doesn't stop enough crosses. And Oviedo, ironically, is better at that. He does close down quicker. I think Baines could play in there, and Oviedo can go and do the up and down thing. And I think, like you say, we had a little bit of an insight there on Saturday into Roberto's thinking in terms of him going and joining in that role for 10 or 15 minutes. So I think you're right to think a lot of things about Saturday was looking forward to next season. It's lovely to be able to do that. I was a little bit disappointed we didn't give the likes of Ledson 10 minutes, but obviously...
But then that shows, doesn't it, that people coming out, we had brought Ledson on and Garbutt, then people would have just said, he's handed it to them, but he didn't do that. He tried to win the game. Everton have lost by the odd goal in 5.
To a team that might win the league.
Yeah, that are very much in there to win the Premier League trophy. You look at it from that point of view, okay, Everton went behind 3-1, but the way they played afterwards, great goal, great ball by Baines, good header by Lukaku. Delafeu comes on, has a real chance to score. We've seen the one by Naismith as well, which was a great save in the end by Hart. I don't know whether it was going round the post anyway. But second half, they really had to go, and they worried City to the point where...
Yeah, we had a call for a Spanish penalty as well in the 96th minute on Alcaraz. Hart gets nowhere near the... Look, I've seen other teams get it. He got nowhere near the ball. Hart. I'm not saying Alcaraz was going to score, but he went for it. Hart takes him out. I'm not sitting here bemoaning it, but I'm just saying potentially other teams have had soft penalties.
You look at it and you just think Everton had to go there for anyone to say that Everton didn't have a go, and there has been numerous, and people in the press, high profile, Martin Tyler, seen something by Andy Dunn yesterday, a journalist who's come out and said the atmosphere was like a night at the ballet. Well, I'm not sure which ballet he goes to, but
we've had, to counter that though, we had Oliver Kate who come out and said Everton took a little bit of stick for the atmosphere. It was still far more partisan than many places. I could go back to any of those journalists or reporters and say, I sat through the Norwich City game at home in January with a pair of pins on. We won the game. Crystal Palace, arguably Everton's biggest game of the season, quiet until we went 3-1 down, and there was a couple of dodgy decisions. Then the crowd made themselves known.
Right, that's all we've got time for on the Footy Show. Extra time. Before we go, I know you want to know about my shirt. This is Brian Oviedo's first club in Costa Rica. Brought over to me by Big Me's. Matt Minshaw brought it over for me. Best sponsor in the world, Bimbo.
Mine's just a Brooklyn one. That's for the New York Evertonians who always watch us and listen to us.
Make sure
just float, Joe.
Make sure you share this video. Make people know that we're out there. We're doing these videos, and we'll be back soon. Good night.
See you later.